Okay, hey guys, quick video here. If you guys hear any sort of rumbling in the background or any sort of background noise, it's either my computer, it's acting up for some reason, or it could be the air conditioning. I would turn it off, but it's Southern California in the summer, in probably the worst summer for heat, so I'm not turning that thing off. No, nope. Anyways, I wanted to make a quick video to express my thoughts on the Aurora, Colorado Massacre. I'm not gonna say anything that hasn't already been said. I mean, you guys should probably know by now what happened, and if you do not know, please look it up. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you've been under a rock or something like that. I'm not gonna, you know, be a joker like that. No pun intended. But just if you don't know, you do yourself a service finding out. But for those of you who do know, you know that there was a massacre shooting at a midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises um, on Friday, and here's my little walkthrough of how I'm saying too many times. Here's my little walkthrough of how I found out. Basically, I woke up, uh, and oh my goodness, I don't wanna. I know this is not a joking matter, but I gotta say this. The first thing that I told my mom when I woke up in the morning, I told her that I had a friend. This is what I told her. I have a friend who says that she was gonna die last night, and she's like, "Why?" You know, and I'm like, "Because of Batman." She's such a Batman fan that when the movie ends, she's gonna be possibly either in tears or she says that she's just gonna die because her life is meaningless. It's Batman. Of course, she's exaggerating. She was joking, but she said this, and I'm saying it in a joking manner. And then my mom ends up hinting at what happened. She didn't tell me the full details, but she told me that some sort of shooting went down at a Dark Knight Rises showing. So I was like, ooh, that's pretty bad. Um, then I go online, I go on Facebook, and I see a friend posting about it, and I'm like, hey, look, so and so posted about it. I told my mom this. Then I kept scrolling down, and I saw even more people talk about it. They kept posting, it's sad, it's tragic what happened, and I'm like, man, it sounds like it was huge. Then I go onto Yahoo, I go onto MSN, and I read into it, and it was pretty tragic. However, not only it being a shooting at a Dark Knight Rises movie theater, and it wasn't just at the movie theater; it was inside the actual room where they were showing the movie. They were showing the movie. Guy walks in and massacres these people, killed 12 people and injured 59. And not only was that shocking in and of itself, but what I read later, what shocked me the most was that according to, you know, um, I don't want to say studies, but so far the record is that this is the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history, the biggest mass, excuse me, the biggest mass killing in U.S. history. And that's the part that surprised me the most because when I thought of that, I thought back to, DC Sniper or Virginia Tech, but apparently this one takes the cake. And for it to happen at a showing of The Dark Knight Rises just breaks my heart because these people were walking in just wanting to watch a movie, a superhero movie. Uh, Comic book movie, superhero movie, action movie, something that they've probably been waiting for a really long time. It's a midnight showing, so obviously an awful lot of dedicated fans are going to be going to this showing. They're walking in, and according to reports, this guy walks in around 12:39. So this is about 15 minutes into the movie because midnight showing started. I remember seeing a picture of the ticket stub of somebody that went to the showing, saying that the show officially began at 12:05. And with the trailers take up about 10, 15 minutes. So I think the movie started around 12:20. Guy entered at 12:39. So about 20 minutes into the movie, this guy walks in and just ruins probably what was going to be one of the best experiences of the people who were watching this movie, who were looking forward to watching this movie. And just to think of that, to kind of sort of picture it in my mind, is just tyrannical, to say the least. And upon the cast, Christian Bale and Hathaway coming forward expressing their deep sorrow for this event. So did Christopher Nolan, and Christopher Nolan said something that really hit home for me because it's something that I completely agree with. I'm not just gonna, you know, reiterate this because it's from Christopher Nolan. He's one of my favorite directors. I'm not trying to show any favoritism, but it's simply just something that I completely agree. So let me pull it up here really fast. And basically what it says, speaking on behalf of the cast and crew of The Dark Knight Rises, I would like to express our profound sorrow at the senseless tragedy that has befallen the entire Aurora community. I would not presume to know anything about the victims of the shooting, but that they were the last night to watch a movie. That they were there last night to watch a movie. I believe movies are one of the great American art forms, and the shared experience of watching a story unfold on the screen is an important and joyful pastime. The movie theater is my home, and the idea that someone would violate that innocent and hopeful place is such an unbearable, savage way, in such an sorry, in such an unbearable, savage way is devastating to me. Nothing any of us can say could ever adequately express our feelings for the innocent victims of this appalling crime, but our thoughts are with them and their families. The movie theater is my home. That's the part that really stuck with me because I've told some people this. I obviously love movies, but what I love in the context of watching movies, I love to go to the movie theater. Um, Outside of the movie theater, I have an awful lot of problems in my life, like any human being, and I'm not talking about anything super depressive, but it's just the basic stuff, school, finding a job, and if I have a job, taking care of that job, relationships, friendships, and when I say relationships, it could mean either friendships or family, whatever. Just the basic stuff that weighs on my shoulders. And when I go to the movie theater to watch a movie, even if it's a one that I may think is bad or one that I'm really looking forward to because I know it's going to be good, those problems are checked in at the door for me. When I walk into the room, into the theater, it's just me and the movie and whoever came in with me. Um, Most of the time, it's my parents. Yeah. Uh, so my problems are at the door, and when I'm watching this movie, and whatever movie it may be, it's just me and the movie, and those problems do not exist. Not unless it's a really grave situation where I don't think I would even, if it's such a grave situation, I probably wouldn't even be in the mood to go into the movie theater. So if I'm going into the movie theater, it's obvious that that problem will somewhat evaporate when I walk in there, and it's no longer a problem for the time being. I mean, I'm not going to rule out the fact that when I get out of the theater, regardless of how good the movie was, the problem will come back. It's life. It's gonna come back, and I'm gonna have to face it and take care of it. But when I walk in there, the movie theater is my sanctuary. And to think of a terrorist, and that's something that I really hate right now about this case, is that he's appearing in Supreme Court, and they're calling him a suspect. He did it. He did it. Why do you guys keep calling him a suspect? He did it. And uh, I remember seeing a picture of how he would have been treated differently if he was African or Middle Eastern or whatever. And sadly, it is kind of true. Um, some evidence is there to support this, but I didn't follow that rule. I'm not gonna say, oh, he was a college student, 24 years of age with a PhD. First thing that came to my mind when I heard of this story, and I heard of the gravity of the story, like I said, biggest mass shooting in U.S. history up to date. First thing that came to mind, terrorist. I don't care if he's from this country. I don't care if he had a PhD. I don't care if he was young, he was good looking, if he was nicest with all these people. He created a terrorist crime. He inflicted terror. He is a terrorist, and that's the first term that came to my mind when it came to addressing him. I'm just tickling a little bit too much. Sorry, but